So we're out in front of Hollywood Palms. We're going to go see Risen.
Yes.
I served the Roman Empire. I fought wars against those who did not believe in our gods. But nothing could prepare me for the truth that is now risen.
And some Vines, what's his name? Do you know his name?
Let's look him up here.
Oh, she's going to look stuff up. Anyway, I thought it was Gregory.
It's not Gregory.
All right.
No.
We'll give you a review when we get out, but I've been very excited about this film.
Not me.
She's not. I'm very optimistic. I think that
Very skeptical.
We're going to see a lot of accuracy. She's thinking it's going to fall in line with Noah and have rock monsters and things that weren't scriptural. But we'll see just how that all plays out.
My expectations on it are, I have rarely been very impressed with Christian movies.
Okay.
So I have been very impressed with this actor. He played Luther in Martin Luther,
Yes.
which was not a huge Hollywood film, as far as I understand, but
Had some good accuracy.
very good accuracy. And I read some things about how he has embodied these roles, and I'm very curious. I'm a skeptic.
So
And,
she's going in skeptical. I'm going in optimistic. We'll tell you what we think when we
See?
get out. Talk to you soon.
What was his name? He was called Yeshua.
The man's dead. His followers are in hiding.
He's been a threat.
Take control out there and finish things.
The tomb is sealed, guarded with your life.
What happened to the Nazarene? He's right here. Open your heart and see.
So you liked it?
I think I did. Did you?
I think I did. I'm not in love with the movie, but I think it was.
Not in love with it.
I am still of the mind that it was a very Christianese movie. The scenes of the crucifixion and the stone, they looked like Christian paintings to me.
Okay.
And I'm a skeptic of Christian paintings.
I don't think I have anything to do with that. I had my own little historical issues, but I'm going to say this. In the landscape, in the sea of Christian films, I would say this is probably at the top of the list from everything that I've seen.
Okay.
It does not mean that it's everything I hope to do with film in the future, but it comes a lot closer than anyone has in the past. I think that the sets, the locations were spot on.
They did pretty good with that.
I was excited to see just a peek of the temple in a scene, which was pretty interesting, and go, oh, at least they acknowledged, there was a distance that they couldn't go in the gates. So it lends the air of authenticity that it needed. There's an excellent plot twist, which I did not expect, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone.
The moment that was supposed to be the highlight of the movie, to me, truly was the highlight of the movie. I was waiting for something.
She read ahead.
I knew what the highlight was meant to be, and it worked. And I was waiting for a moment that would have, as a believer or as a skeptic, done anything for me. And I truly think there was a moment.
Oh, no, there was. This is not what you're expecting out of this film at all.
Yeah.
And I give them 9 out of 10 stars for faithfulness to the scripture. There's only one error issue, I would say, in accuracy. If you'd like to know, please comment, and I'll let you know what that is in private rather than ruin it. But other than that, as far as discrepancies go, this is pretty accurate. So I'm pretty happy with it.
And one thing you mentioned to me before was this movie was filmed from a Roman perspective.
Yeah.
If it would have been from a Jewish perspective, things would have been spoken differently.
Right.
Things would have been brought up differently.
Well, for instance, there was a scene in which the lead asks one of the followers why he follows this Messiah, and he didn't have an answer for him.
know.
And I don't think that people steeped in that culture would be answerless.
Right.
I think they would have seen a lot of dots connected. They would have seen a lot of feast days fulfilled.
Right.
They would have had a lot to talk about to say this and this and this and this all makes sense. We've been raised in this culture, which kind of fell flat. They could have gone further with it. So yeah, it was definitely produced out of standard Christian background, which is not a bad place to start.
But from a Roman perspective.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And one thing that I noticed about that too was our first introduction to Jesus was on the cross. Jesus was not a main character in this. It was about him. And it truly was from that Roman outside perspective, and they did a pretty good job of, we don't know who this guy is.
Okay, what would you tell moms with kids? What ages would you?
Personally, there were some battle scenes. I don't think they took too far, but there were battle scenes where people.
So
you could
it would
hear
be
them dying.
family friendly to a certain extent. Leave your 5-year-olds at home.
Leave
maybe?
your 5-year-olds at home.
I brought my son with me. He asked some questions that I had to question whether or not I was doing my job as a dad and teaching him about the scriptures. But it was cool that he was connecting dots.
Through the movie.
And so I highly suggest you take your kids. I think it'll open doors, and I think it'll cement ideas that are very positive for their spiritual growth. So it'll encourage them to research, and it'll encourage friends that aren't steeped in the faith to look into things deeper, which I think is the ultimate goal of any of these films. So I definitely suggest you see it.
One more thought.
Yeah.
The first half of the movie was so heavy on the political, the historical, the social aspect of this crucifixion. And personally, I was bored by that. It was very heavy.
There was other people in the audience. You could see little people rocking in their chairs.
Yeah, on the informational side of
Satiated
the history.
me.
I'm sure it did. However, so I'm thinking, why did they do this in the movie? But then I realized that is what this was. So that I think they accurately portrayed that. Cinematically, if you're going to see the movie, it's going to be heavy on that, the first half of it. But then there's a moment.
There's a moment.
There is a moment that kind of changes all of that. And
Go see it. So we're all encouraging you, in case you're
See it,
wondering
to
whether
see
it's
it.
worth seeing. There were no rock monsters. There were nothing that embarrassed you in the faith. It's worth the view.
It's true.
So that's our cover.
Thank you.
Goodbye, son of Adam.